Hey, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Breakdown Live here at Fish on Fire. We're host John Chaney, co-host Pat LoBianco.
Lobianco.
LoBianco. He's Irish. And then Coach Jeff Higgins.
Coach Higgs is fine. How you doing
Coach
today,
Higgs,
right?
we doing all right,
Higgs is
buddy?
fine. I'm doing well.
So I know Pat's going to be reading a lot of things off his phone that people are going to call in. We got people here in the audience, and we wanted to introduce the new head coach of the Orlando Predators. So tell them a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, Coach, tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm just going to lead you in real quick.
Go ahead.
You've been, I don't know, before I came on board with the Predators back in 2019. So you were involved with in the Kenny Mack era. Mm-hmm. Then the 2020 COVID season was done, 2021, and now you're coming in as the head coach of the Orlando Predators. Now tell us a little bit about yourself, a little more.
Great opportunity. Not everybody really knows this, but I'm a former arena football player. Played arena football 97, 98, 99, 2000, all the way up to 2005. Back in the Ironman days. So got a little bit of experience playing the game, and then I jumped right into coordinating the first year right after I retired in 2006 up in Albany. I know we know that place all too well.
Oh, yeah.
And then, did that with Pete Costanza, who went up to Calgary. He's actually now with Winnipeg now, up in the CFL. But that was a great experience, had some good coaches, and then I coached with Tony Boak, who was the head coach when they switched from the Albany Conquest to the Albany Empire. So I have 3 years coordinated, and then of course coordinating last year. So now I'm ready for the head role. I appreciate it.
Oh, we're looking forward to it. I know a lot of the players from the last year had nothing but high respect for you and your work ethic and your attitude towards the game. And I know they got to be looking forward to just following your lead into the 2022 season.
We have a great nucleus coming back, and I really find that humbling. Because I'm somebody that is just, John knows this, I'll use the words anal detailed, and I hold people accountable. Okay. I hold people accountable, but I hold myself accountable. But I think that's what the fans need. I think that's what our fans are looking for. They want, to have an exciting football team. I'm not going to be anybody else. I'm not trying to fill anybody else's shoes. I've learned a lot from mentors, including our coaches last year and people that we've been with. But our guys are going to come with energy. They're going to come with passion. And the jungle's going to be very exciting. Let's just say that.
Before what did you do a couple weeks ago? Didn't you get inducted into something? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Okay. So humbling. Yes. Again, I got inducted to my second Hall of Fame up in Section 2 in Albany, New York. There's about 53 schools in the what's called the Section 2 Capital Region Hall of Fame. So. I was invited and got inducted up there as a player. Former quarterback from high school and kick returner, punt returner, and defensive back. So we went up there. There was a great induction class, and basically they inducted me into the Hall of Fame, and I was able to do so. My dad was in attendance. He lives about 45 miles away, so that was really nice. Got to have a nice dinner, give a little induction speech, and then come back here and get to work.
There you go. We want you to go to work.
Yes, absolutely.
And you also were nominated for the Ford Tough Player of the Year in arena football.
I was. In 2001, I actually had a torn rotator cuff. And I used to, believe it or not, I used to be in pretty good shape. I know I don't look like that now, but so I had no idea I had a torn rotator cuff. I played 3 games as offensive specialist, where in that time frame I had, I think it was 9 or 10 touchdowns in 3 games. I've always led the league in kick return average when I played. So anyway, it's not about the stats, but I was doing this and I had a torn rotator cuff and didn't know it. So they kept telling me during that time frame that, there's no way it can be torn. You couldn't be playing like this. You can't be jumping the balls. And then when I had my MRI at the end of the season, it was completely torn. I had my first surgery. So our media directors and Kevin Porter, KP, who actually was a Kansas City Chief back in the late 80s, they nominated me for the Ford Tough Player of the Year award. So that's a long time ago. That's 20 years from now. But yeah, it was a good time.
We got to bring it up though.
Absolutely.
So what do you got?
It's an honor. It's an honor. You got to bring that up.
Yeah, it's cool, without a doubt. But I attribute that to my great teammates. I had great quarterbacks at the time. Played with Mike Lusky. He could throw the ball extremely well. It's very cerebral. Actually, Chris Siegfried was the head, not the head coach, but he was the offensive coordinator at the time. So he had a lot of confidence in me. And then after that, the next season when he was head coach at Cape Fear, he traded for me. So
there you go.
You know, I look up to them guys. I learned a lot, and that's why I'm here tonight.
And at Ithaca College, you were 2-time All-American.
Yes, I was a 2-time All-American kick returner and all-time leading receiver in college.
Yep. So, I mean, we want to bring up all the stuff, you know, because football's normally, you know, you do a lot, you know, from the time you're young until now to get to where you're at.
Hey, listen, I just love the game of football. I don't care if it's running down on a kickoff, whether it's a holder. I mean, you're coaching a flag football game. I'll be the best get-back coach you got.
That's it.
Because all those jobs are important, and it's all about the unity and all about the camaraderie, and I think that's how you win a championship. So that's what we're going to bring here to Orlando.
So how's it feel playing at the Amway Arena?
The Amway, I'll tell you, I've been a lot of different places. The first place I ever played in was the Ice Palace in Tampa, and I thought that was, you know, very unique with how it felt like the fans were like right on top of you. Playing up in the barn, up in, you know, Iowa, the Barnstormers, you know, with Kurt Warner was up there. That's a little unique. But when it comes to the jungle, I mean, there is nothing. When I tell you, there is nothing like the jungle. But again, it's all going to relate back to the fans. I mean, of course, you know, all the smoke shows and the motorcycles and all that, you know, that's great for the fans. But for the players, it's the fans only. And it really is an amazing place. It's a very intimidating place for people to come into. And with a name like the jungle, I mean, come on now. I mean, it's just one of a kind.
We have a blast.
Yes.
What do you got?
Speaking of the fans, I mean, I got to give a shout out to some of the fans that came in here tonight for the season opening of the Breakdown Live. I mean, we've got a lot of our Pred heads here tonight. Magic, Nick Green, we got Dickie Owens, we got one half of the Morris clan. We've got Nancy Morris that made it in here. We got Trish King. We've got just so many people that came in tonight. I want to shout you out real quick before I forget, because I'm old, I forget things. But I want to give a shout out, and my wife, of course, Mary LoBianco. You know, it's pronounced LoBianco.
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 And of course, the Cycle Fever TV crew here filming everything with us. Back to you, John. I like to give out shout-outs.
Okay, so let's talk about some players that we have coming back. Tell us about some of the players that are coming back that were here last year.
Okay. We'll go, you know, with some of the nucleus that I can talk about right now. And I'll just mention some names first, then we'll go in and you can ask me some different questions. But Dylan Barnes, right? Kicker. Desariah Johnson, wide receiver DB. Of course, Matt Parsons, quarterback. Daquan Murray, O-line, Desmond Waxwell, fullback and linebacker. And I should have said O-line, D-line for Daquan Murray.
Yes. Everything's double.
We'll get into that. Brian Foy Jr., wide receiver DB. Armani Carey, O-line, D-line. Brandon Fuentes, receiver DB. Darius Tolbert, O-line, D-line. Freddie Booth, O-line, D-line. And I also put fullback on that. We can get into that. And as you go down, for the returning players as of now, and there will be some more nucleus guys that are signed. Those are the guys right now that are signed coming back. But that's a real good nucleus. You know, you look at Matt Parsons, a young man that stands 6'6" from Fresno, or excuse me, from New Mexico State. Yeah, I almost said Fresno, but New Mexico State. And UCF's own Dylan Barnes, who came in late and like was one of the top kickers in our league. In my opinion. But,
without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. But these are all these guys, from Maxwell to Tolbert to Booth to Fuentes to Foy, there's all one thing in common. They work extremely hard at their craft. Those are guys that, you know, you want to have around. Guys that are perfectionists, guys that are detail-oriented. So, you know, they're really, really fortunate, or I should say we're really fortunate to have them back. So I hope that we can get them going and get them off on the right foot once we get started.
That's awesome. Pat, you see any questions that you want to ask?
I'm seeing people putting on comments here like I'm here, people watching. There's a bunch of people watching. Let's see here. Anyone else? Volume low? Sorry. We just got to put the microphones close to us. Sorry about that, Brian. Try raising the volume. Yep, we're going to do that. They like the setup here for the Breakdown Live. So,
we're getting there.
Good job on that, yeah. It's all smoke and whistles. If you guys got any questions out there, even you folks here in the audience, if you guys got any questions for the coach or even John, because John is co-owner of the Orlando Predators. So if you got any questions for John, you know, shoot him out there. Give us type him in there, all right? I see Rashad Payne, you know, Predator at one time, shooting it out there.
Yes.
Rashad Payne, shout out to the coach.
And I'll mention actually another guy we just signed, I think, in the last 48 hours. And I say this because he wasn't a part of the original nucleus in the beginning of the year, but he came, if you remember, Shaquille Holmes.
Yes.
You know, Helenas, I say Holmes, but Helenas. Shaquille came back and signed just recently, so he's another high energy guy. So I think a lot of the Predator fans, they may know, okay, and understand some of that Iron Man game from back in the days, but there might be some people that do not. I know this. Some of the players I'm talking to from last year, they did not. You know, coach, I want to sign, but I will not play offense. I said, well, then you won't be in the league.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how it works. You know? But anyway, if you got questions regarding, you know, the Iron Man football game, throw them out there. We'll answer them, and I'm sure you, Pat, and John, whoever, even the fans here, they could probably answer some of them. But you know, let's get this thing rolling so we can get some of those people's questions talked about and answered.
Steve Morris has a question out there. He says, do you have any other prospective quarterbacks?
The other prospective quarterbacks. You mean besides the two that we signed?
I believe that's what he means. I mean,
okay. Well, I'll tell you this. The philosophy of our football team is going to be this, and the guys know this. Every single guy, so I'm saying it here, and they've heard it first. We're going to compete. So if there's 2 quarterbacks on the roster, there could be 4 tomorrow. There might be 3 the next day. But we're going to have competition all the time. These guys want competition. We need competition to be the best. So when you say perspective, there's guys on the list. But the guys that are signed right now have earned those positions to be signed. So right now, those are our quarterbacks. Those are the guys we're going with. But as we come across them, if they deserve to get looked, I mean, I'll give you an example. We have a quarterbacks coach. He's working out some guys in the Tampa area, you know, every so often here. And if they show up December 18th and they deserve to get signed, we may have 3 by that time. So not specific names, so to speak, but yes, there are some prospective players.
That's awesome. Another question that was on here is, tell us about the tryouts.
Okay, so our first one, we're gonna try to have one every month from here. We're gonna have one on December 18th, right at Lake Howell High School, turf field. All the times, the L drill, the shuttle, and the 40 will be laser verified times. So we're gonna go there and have our tryout, have our workout, and we're looking for straight dogs. We're looking for guys that can ball. We'll have even our own players that are locally come, look at them, you know, get warmed up, so to speak, and if we need to throw them out there to, hey, Brandon.
Run around a little bit.
Yeah, let me see if you can cover this guy, see what he's really got. We'll put him out there. Some guys have hit you up at Facebook, oh, here, coach, this is me on the treadmill. You want to sign me? It's pretty simple. You don't have film, you don't have something we're at a high level, show up, we'll give you the high level coaching, we'll give you an opportunity, and if it's your day, you'll get signed. Just to give you an idea, you know, I was one of those guys, like, you know, D3 kid coming out. My first workout was in Connecticut. There was about 145 guys there. It was 22 degrees. I had to run a 40. I had to run an L drill. By the end of the game, or excuse me, the end of the day, it was Higgs. Run this post route against him, and I was signed. So, I mean, that's the type of thing that you need and that type of competitiveness. If someone says, hey, you know, I don't want to run a 40, well, I don't know how bad you want it. I mean,
was that Siegfried that signed you right down on the spot?
To be honest, no. That was Arena 1. That was the Florida Bobcats. That was actually Coach Mark Stout and Jim Buffington. So that was down there in Fort Lauderdale. They moved, and originally it was in Palm Beach. So that was the first team I signed with back in Arena 1. Yep.
I have a question here from Milton Staten here, Magic, one of our Pred heads. He says, are you still working on your coaching staff?
No. The coaching staff is a staff that I've worked with before. We may have one ad, but that ad has already been completed. So no, we've already begun. We're having Zoom meetings. We're having player development meetings. We're having basically just some collaborative discussion about where we want to do with the nucleus of the football team, the vision, which is to have a big and physical football team. So, you know, no, we're working together. Our staff is already en route to, you know, put together a great product.
Question here from Tom Traver, another one of our Pred heads. He's at home. He says, will we have Nets back this year?
No, the Nets, to my knowledge, won't be back this year.
No, we won't have Nets. And we were trying to get the Nets back, to be honest with you, to go with the Iron Man, but not every team would be able to put it all together because they had to be built and all that. So it became a project. So we're actually shooting that 100% be back next year.
The Nets are a very exciting part of the game. I like the Nets. I think they're great. I like what the league and the commissioner and obviously the ownership did as far as collectively in adding that deuce. That was something that was really exciting. I'd like to see them keep the deuce and add the Nets. Personally. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out.
We're gonna do it. I mean, I can break it out now. I don't care. It is what it is. We're taking too long with a couple things under my liking anyway. But we voted to bring back the Nets without a doubt. But mechanically, for all the teams in their arenas, it wasn't able to happen. So we'll be working on it next year.
All right. Another question that was out there is, I guess, a new arena fan. Coach, can you tell us a little bit about how the Iron Man works? What is entailed?
I would like you to think of it like, if you follow hockey, like line changes. Okay, so let's say you have, as an example, a 19-man roster. Okay, so you're going to have 2 players on offense, or one of them technically is your kicker, that only do that. They only kick, and your quarterback is your other offensive specialist. On defense, you'd have the same thing. So you'd have usually 2 best DBs, but 2 players that you declare your defensive specialist. When it comes to the line changes, let's say as general, you bring about 2 other players at each position. So let's just take wide receiver, defensive back as an example. Let's say that me and you, Pat, are 2 wide receiver defensive backs. And you're more of a defensive guy, and I'm more of an offensive guy, just to make it in layman's terms. If we start the game in offense, even on the special teams where we're going to return, because I'm the offensive player, would start the quarter. Now, generally, as long as we don't have what I like to call one-hitter quitters, those deep 45-yard touchdowns, but as long as we don't have those, generally, it's about I play an offensive series, a defensive series, and then another offensive series. And that's about half the quarter, close to it.
Right.
So we, as a coaching staff, would wait probably till either we run down on the kickoff to put you in, or if I run down on the kickoff, you start fresh playing defense because you're the defensive two-way. So now you go defensive series, offensive series, defensive series, and then we look at the clock. Whoever starts the quarter, so in this case I started the quarter, I can go back in. If you come out because you didn't, you cannot go back in or it's an illegal substitution call. So that's kind of like the gist of it. And you do that with generally your fullback linebackers, your center nose guards, your guard, tight end, receiver DB, wide receiver, jack, linebacker, fullback linebacker if I didn't mention it. And all those positions, you have to strategize and put the best team out there during the game.
Because once you come out for the quarter.
If you were not the player that started the quarter.
Correct.
The person that started the quarter can come out and they can go back in one more time.
Okay. It sounds a little confusing.
No, not confusing. Not if you're a coach that's been around and talked about it and done it for 20 years. It's not confusing. Pretty much if you're a player, just do what we say. It'll work out. But there's a substitution official that tracks those things. We'll have a substitution coach on the sideline to keep track of that just in case we lose things, because you don't want to hit with an illegal substitution. And I don't know if they've decided if the penalty or the ruling will be the same as what it was in Ironman football, but you don't want to have a player that's not able to play at all after that with an illegal substitution, because if you have 18 players instead of 19, that's a huge deal. That's a huge disadvantage to be in. So that's pretty much the gist.
Just real quick, when I said confused, when you said about looking at the clock and you looked up, John looked up.
I did. I was looking at the clock.
To see if there's a
I was
clock
thinking.
up there. I was going to say, well, we ran out of time.
I was thinking about it. But also, what was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought when you said look up at the clock.
Sorry.
Yeah, you blew my mind there.
Another question here, John, if I took away from you, do you have something?
No, go ahead.
All right. Somebody else asking here, Ashley Marie, Thank you, Ashley. She's out here in the audience. Any update on getting our banners back? What banners are you talking about?
Yeah, what banners we?
Our championship banners. That's a good question for John, I guess. If you can look into that.
Lost forever.
What do you mean they're lost forever?
The city's got them, I guess. I don't know.
I'm gonna work on that then. You get what I mean? You know, and that's the thing. You know, some things I don't know about. You know,
I will
Talk to
say
me.
this. I will say this, regardless of whether they're gotten back or they're lost.
where'd they go?
Those championships will never be forgotten, and they shouldn't be, because you guys as a fan base, and of course the players and the coaches that were involved in them, they 100% earned them, and I respect them. That is something that I look at, and I'm like, you know something? That is something that I want to get someday. I want to get a championship and bring it back. So, absolutely, 100%.
There you go.
Steve Morris has got a question here. He says, any updates on new teams? So, John, that'd be a question for you.
It was announced.
Any new teams?
Just who has been announced already. That's it. I'm talking not loud enough. Yeah. Not, as of right now, we have our 6. That's what's out there. They posted it. We want to have more. We thought we were bringing in 2 more, but it's going to stay at the 6 for this year.
Yeah, Mary Beth Scott goes, that's exactly what they said at the Amway about the banners. So, yeah, it is what it is.
So, believe me, if we have to, we'll have new banners made and put them up. We'll do whatever it takes for the fans.
That's what someone here already said. Make new ones.
We'll make new ones. Simple as that.
Did you want to talk about Freddie?
It's funny. I
There
can
you
talk
go.
to anybody you want. You just pick somebody, but there's a couple guys missing because we actually have 23 guys signed.
Okay.
And they're not on
Anybody
this
you want to
list.
mention?
You ask questions.
All right.
You ask questions.
What are the I want to bring up one of the questions here. You had mentioned earlier about a good friend of mine. I consider him like one of my boys, one of my sons, Freddie Booth Lloyd. He's an offensive, defensive lineman. You want to?
You know what? That's actually a very good. Is this working? That's a very good individual to bring up. Okay, so as most of you guys know, and this is great to talk about the Ironman game. Freddie Booth Lloyd last year, you know, he played predominantly what? Do you remember?
He played defensive line, offensive line. He played a lot.
Okay, and as you know, as we go in Ironman, the fullback position becomes very important because the fullback position is not only a guy that plays and carries the ball, gets pass protection assignments, but also has to bring it on defense as a linebacker.
Yep.
So someone like Freddie Booth that may or may not play linebacker but can play O-line, D-line, fullback, now he can play multiple things. This is another reason why, just to tell you, I have such a passion for the game of Ironman football because as an Ironman player, the more you could do, the more valuable you were. So if you're running down on kickoffs, if you're the holder, if you're the returner, you know, you're the backup quarterback, whatever it is, you're very valuable. So somebody like Freddie Booth Lloyd, extremely valuable to the football team, and that's a great example. So Freddie, I know, has been working on getting himself into some great fullback shape. He's, of course, you know, a big man, so his pass protection shape at both, you know, guard and fullback is going to be fine, and he's going to have to bring his energy up to give it a go there on the defensive side. But yeah, you'll see someone like him at all areas. Tell you a funny story about Freddie Booth real quick. So if he's watching, he's going to laugh. So last year, I think it was like one of the first couple of games, we had something happen, player go down or something, had to make some subs, and then we had kick return. So I had 7 guys in the huddle, and I didn't have the 8th. So I look over and I see, you know, Freddie right here. I said, Freddie Booth Lloyd, come out here. Yes, Freddie Booth Lloyd, come out here. So I showed him, right? Now, I'll be real. I put him in a position that, for him, it wasn't the most fun. He did it. He did it. It was great. He got it done. And then it was funny. We're talking on the sideline later. He's like, Coach, he's like, I'm so glad they kicked that ball out of bounds. So anyway.
Well, the Ironman big thing is these players have to be in shape. You know, it's totally different. You're not going to have the big boy that can block on the O-line he has to be able to move on defense. And so that changes a few players in the league that probably won't be back throughout the league.
You know, I hope it doesn't happen, but every coach will tell you this. You know, you don't want to see a guy get cut and stretch. And what that means is, you know, you can't make the club if you're in the tub. So if you're not in shape and you come here to play football, I don't care if you're wide receiver, DB, you're fullback, linebacker, and this is why we want to be extremely competitive. You know, we got no problem sending a guy home. You know, if he's not ready in another month or whatever, and that's when he's ready to compete and give his all, we got to get a guy that can give 100% of his energy level. And I've talked to the players about this. I've told them to get in shape. They know for me with my energy, they understand what it's going to be anyway. So I know they understand that. But, you know, some guys, you know, they'll come in, they'll be ready to go. Other guys on other teams won't be. But this is why it's professional football. This is why that competition is there. And it's our job to figure it out. So that's what we'll do.
Yeah, because, I mean, you as the head coach and me and everybody else out here as the fans want nothing but the best for the Orlando Predators. They want to see another championship banner hang up there, one that's current and accurate. I mean,
Well, first they want to see the old ones.
Yeah.
All right.
We got a lot of old fans that have been around forever and a day, and they sorry about that, Nancy. Sorry about that, Nancy Magic. Didn't mean nothing by that. Moving right along. Any new rules? There's a question here. Any new rules for the 2022 season?
Just the full Ironman rules are back.
Ironman full format, which I went over briefly. And then from there, I guess, you know, the nets are not coming back, but they are keeping the deuce. I do believe the one rule that I want to say they were looking to change, and I looked at the replay a couple times, and we had 2 feet out of bounds for a kick returner instead of 1 foot in. If you can imagine that, when I played, you could have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So now if you take a place like, what's that pit? I don't know that pit they have up in there somewhere in the Carolinas. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, the back of that from this line.
So deep. It's too deep.
Correct.
We're
now,
talking about.
Correct. So now you have an advantage just because the way the arena is.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see them go to 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But, you know, it is neither here nor there. But I just want to make one point real quick because I know that we're not going to announce them. They're going to come out slowly this week. But when you see the experience and the knowledge of the staff that is around me, you're going to understand that they're all guys that played in the Ironman format or have been around the Ironman format game. Guys that are very versatile in what they know. And you're only as good as the guys around you. So I want to make that point. So these guys are amazing. When they get announced and all that type of stuff, you're going to love the coaches that are with me.
Do you have an idea when they're going to be announcing your coaching staff? I mean, I ran into one of your coaches the other day, last weekend, but I won't mention any names.
I do believe if you want to follow the Predators Instagram page and those other pages, I want to say that the first one is going to be announced tomorrow. And tomorrow's Tuesday, and then we'll see another one on Thursday. But we're trying to get them all announced on Instagram before we have our Christmas party.
Before the 20th.
Correct.
They'll all be announced before the 20th.
Yeah, before the
They're
20th.
all going to be coming out every couple days, the coaching staff.
Speaking of the 20th, that's going to be the next Breakdown Live show, right?
Absolutely,
Would that be doing it every
and we're
year?
going to do like a Christmas party thing.
Gotcha.
Actually, Fish on Fire, we were going to have it here, but they're having their Christmas party. I think they got a lot of pull here. So it won't be here, but we're working on it, and we're going to announce later on this week where it's at.
All right, there's another question here. Let's see here. Where will the Predators be holding their practices at? Coach, you got that set up yet or not yet?
That's something that we could tell the Predator Nation, not on Facebook, so I don't have anybody from the Snake Pit showing up. We're going to figure that out real close, but something I don't really want to put on social media, but I will talk to those guys and let you guys know. Little anal and stuff about people showing up and filming things like that, but I promise you when we have conversations out here, I can let you know. But yes, it's in the works.
But it's not a done deal.
No, not a done deal, but it's in the works.
Indoor practice facility, right? Don just went out and bought it. We have it built.
No, he got 2 of them, 2.
All right, I just got a text message. I believe it's a text message from our general manager, Casey Todd. We want to wish the the Junior Predators, good luck in the AAU Junior National Championships. When are they playing?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week.
After we got about, I think, 3 age divisions.
3 age divisions.
And their 14U is 40-1. 40-1. That's a damn good record.
That is great. They're all 14 and under kids out there representing the Orlando Predators name for many years. I mean, 40-1 is
That's pretty amazing.
that's awesome.
And on that note, not only congratulations, but just something different that hasn't been talked about, but I think that should be. When you see some of the coaches that are announced and some of their responsibilities, one of them, for instance, will be Director of Player Engagement. So these events and these community things and these young kids or any other organizations that are in our community, you're going to see some people showing up to some of these things. So you might see a coach and a player, you might see just a player, but if you have something out there that you can give us some time to look at, preferably a month in advance, that's one of my first initiatives, is to get us really involved, get out there, and Casey's worked on that, and some of the stuff that we've talked to was our GM does a great job of getting out there, but I think it's important for us to do so as well. So we just went this last weekend. We were at a middle school. They had a flag tournament. We went out there, and yes, my team won the championship.
Oh, there you go. I saw that.
But to be honest, they didn't win it until I left. so anyway,
Till you had to leave.
Coach Manuel, I slipped one out there, but his team beat mine in the first one. But anyway,
Coach
it is
Marcus Manuel?
Yes, it is.
I love Coach Marcus Manuel. That's the man I saw this weekend. Hey, I want to give a shout out real quick. Somebody watching, Mark Lewis. You may remember Mark Lewis, Predator kicker from Hope. Hey, he's watching tonight. He's watching the Breakdown Live tonight. Mark, if you got any questions for head coach Higgins, shoot it out there, brother. Shoot it out there. If you'll remember, if you're looking at the site, you'll see that we have our kicker signed already. Barnes.
Yeah, DeBarnes, yes, UCF, great guy. We don't have the competition signed yet, so we have room for one more if we got someone to show up on December 18th.
Yeah, Mark, if you think your leg is still strong enough to get out here and compete,
You got to bring your A game because Dylan's got a
Yeah,
leg.
bring it.
He's got a leg.
I think Dylan's ready.
Yeah, absolutely. I know one person put out there something about the schedule. I can tell you this about the schedule, and I say usually because, of course, if teams are added or something, it needs to be changed. This is not in stone, but usually I want to say it's about August 13th or 15th, whatever Friday, Saturday, or Sunday is on August. That's about the championship, and then they work back. So depending on if there were added teams or things like that, you'd be looking at like mid-April to that mid-August range. Some of the fans that want to know and make some plans. Usually you would have a bye week in there somewhere, but we'll see how that all turns out.
We'll definitely have a bye week, possibly 2 during the season, but we will have the schedule for the 20th.
Okay.
I demand it.
Okay.
Like, it started. I mean, the fans want it. We want it. We want it as owners. So we're going to make it happen by the 20th.
you heard it here.
Yeah.
You heard it here first on the Breakdown Live. We'll have the schedule by the 20th.
That's it.
If not, I can give you John's cell
Yeah,
number.
good.
And you
Call me. And if fans, if we have anything that we did last year that you guys really like, things you want to bring back, we're probably going to have a concert outside before every game. We're going to close down Church Street, do that type of thing. Some inside. We're going to work on everything. I can tell you this: we won't have the rappelling because the Amway shot us down on that.
So
We won't have the delayed repeller.
the delayed repellers. Yeah, that was exciting.
Yeah, but yeah.
So
We got away with it 1 year anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Well, hey, listen, bringing it up, and I'm talking around you now, Coach, because a couple questions there for John. Street party in front of the Amway. How's that coming along? I know you're throwing a lot on Casey Todd, your general manager.
No, we're going to have, for every home game, there will be a street party and probably a band or a DJ or something. Every game, we'll have a street party outside.
That's awesome. And
And probably a band inside too, since most people go in an hour before. But yeah, we're gonna have a full concert series, probably, and we're working on that whole thing. We already have 2 bands lined up, and we're probably gonna get at least 4 more. So yeah, we're doing that. Uh-oh.
Now, Freddie Booth Lloyd is watching. What's up, Freddie? I hope you didn't miss.
Hey,
Coach.
don't tell him all the things I said about him. He's gonna have to rewind.
He was just, he was tooting your horn, brother. He's well deserved, though.
Freddie Booth Lloyd told me that he thinks there's gonna be a new rule. And this is amazing. I love this. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Freddie Booth Lloyd used to wear a picture of his son on his visor.
On the
before
visor.
game. So he's worried about a new rule that he can't do that before the game.
I haven't heard that. I mean, hopefully the owners get to vote on that. I mean, look, we want to have fun. We want to enjoy everything we do out here. I mean, right?
It's got to be fun,
So it's
right?
got to be fun. And hey, I loved it. So he's got my vote.
He was proud of that.
I haven't heard anything that we couldn't do that.
When he for that very first game, he pulls me over because a lot of them call me Pops. So he goes, Pops, look at this, check this out, look at this. He goes, I don't know if they're gonna let me wear it. I go, do it, man, do it, wear it. You're proud, do it. And sure enough, he put it on there. It was awesome.
Well, when I first saw it, I was like, how old is this guy?
I can tell you what, though, from a motivation standpoint, anytime that a young adult has, whether it's a child or somebody that motivates them, and that's what gets them going, so to speak, let them do it. Let them do it.
Why not?
Why
Have
not?
fun.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, he's very proud of his son. He was over today. He was over to my house when his son was like 3 months old, and we had a little get together over there. Oh my God! Everything was about the baby boy. So.
Now, looking at this young little boy, is he a fullback? Is he an all lineman? Is he a D lineman? Or is he a quarterback?
He's an Iron Man.
Aha, I love it. Iron Man. Iron Man Booth Lloyd.
Iron Man Booth Lloyd. We had some other questions here. I don't know if you can answer it yet. It's probably for you, John. Is there team housing for the players this season, and where at?
Yeah, we're actually trying to work. Well, here's the thing. We're working on the field and the housing. We don't want a field over here and housing down there. So we're trying to incorporate what we're getting with different counties. We're trying to make a deal and get it all worked out. One thing, let me bring up on another subject. I think within a week we're going to be launching a website that some attire, if anybody wants to buy it. The new online team shop will be launched in about a week or so. Some merchandise. That'll be
the
out
next
there.
question coming up there. What about Predator
there you go.
merchandise?
Yes. So in about a week it'll be out there.
Is it? Do you have the name of the website yet, or where it's going to be, or just stay tuned and it'll be there?
It'll be quick though. It's going to be about a week or so. And then John will throw some stuff out there. He'll launch it, and everybody will know.
I don't know if y'all heard that or not because it's from the other side of the table here, but it should be announced within the next 10 days. The website for your Predator merchandise. This is Marcus Manuel's watching. Coach, welcome. Let's see here. I know it's a little premature, but end of the season party. We're gonna have an end of the season party too.
It didn't even start yet. We're talking about. I feel like that. I feel like I'm going to a game. Are we leaving in the third quarter? We're leaving at the progressive commercial.
I can tell you the date.
Are we? When are we
You can
leaving?
tell us the day of the party.
The date of that party is going to be after August 15th.
Okay, that's the championship game.
There you go.
Outstanding. I don't know how I knew this, but I just know I'm a very positive individual like yourself, Coach. So I'm with you on that. There's some other questions here, but go ahead and you got something while I find one here.
All right. Yeah, so fans, anything, like I said, anything that we did right or that we can build on what you enjoyed last year. We're doing the motorcycles for every game, bringing the dancers out. We're going to have the pre-game party outside, shutting down Church Street. We plan on having a concert at, before the game, and we may have a concert at every halftime. But besides that, we want to win a lot of football games, and that's going to be on you.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%.
Just got a question here. It says, "Are we the new Dan Newland?" What does that mean? Are we the new Dan? Oh, with the concert series? There was. Got to congratulate Coach E.J. Burt on the birth of his new baby. Congratulations, Coach.
I got to
on the birth of your new baby, without a doubt. More.
Skip that.
Skip that?
Skip that, yeah.
Yeah. Freddie Booth Lloyd says thank you so much. He's got a couple of different ones for this season. So he's got something working for his visor going on.
Unreal.
Thanks, Coach Marcus. We're doing the best we can up here. It says good show. Of course, Brian Wright, our trainer, one of our trainers, right? Equipment manager, says he's ready for Freddie. He says let him wear him out.
And our dancers are going to be back with Laura, which is going to be awesome. Actually, 2 or 4 of them will be at least at the party in some nice Santa outfits.
That'll be 20th?
Yes.
Awesome. Also, thank you, Steve Morris, for shouting it out here. I know it didn't slip my mind, but it did slip my mind. Shout out to Barb Starling, still battling the big C. We're all behind you, Barb. We love you. You got this, girl.
And my partner Nate, he's going through a lot. You know what I mean? It's the family and everything. So we wish him all the best.
Without a doubt. I went and saw him since he's so busy with Predator stuff, his shop and Barb and his farm. I had to go out to his shop and see him last Tuesday. I ain't seen him in months, and I can't believe he's so strong. With what he's with what he's dealing with. But
yeah. And he's got to take, besides of all that, like you just said, trying to take care of the animals in the morning, at the end of the day. It's pretty crazy.
And for those of you that have been around him, what a positive individual. He's motivating to me, humbling to me. He was with me here when I was here in 19. I first met Nate. And obviously Barb is an amazing person. So those of you that have had any type of experience with that, I've had experience with it too. Nate has just done a phenomenal job, as well as the family, and as well as the Predator fans, for the support that you've all given, and let's just keep doing it, because that's what they need. I just send my thoughts again, because whoever Nate is right now, I'm sure he's watching. He's always involved, and let's just be there for him this year.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I asked him. I know he had planned on coming up here tonight because, like I said, I spoke with him, and I texted with him and I said, "Hey, are you going to be able to make it up there?" I said, "A lot of people are coming," and he sent me a text. He goes, "With everything that's going on, I don't think I should be around big crowds of people right now." And I was like, "Oh, I completely understand.
Yeah.
You got to stay away from a lot of people because when you're doing the chemo."
Yeah, your immune system's low, and he needs to stay focused with it.
Exactly. Oh, a couple of questions here. Good coming in. What about Claw? Is Claw coming back, John?
Claw?
How can Claw not come back?
You gotta come back without the Predators.
It was a question. I gotta read the question.
Yeah, he'll be back. Yes, he will.
Do you want to know about any new players?
Yes.
You want to know about?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Maybe some fans either out here or even on the screen that I'm looking at. What do you want to know about for new players?
So
throw a position out there.
So are you going to actually announce some players that we haven't announced? Go ahead. So tell me about the Marshall quarterback. Who's that?
The Marshall quarterback.
Yeah.
Rakeem Cato. Marshall, very strong arm, very good on his feet. Had some not just amazing plays, but he's also a very cerebral individual. He's actually got worked out by our quarterback coach, and he's got ties back to a couple of our assistant coaches in a previous league, and he's out of Miami, Florida right now. So Rakeem is a good guy to throw in the competitive mix, and there's going to be potentially another one coming soon that's equally as awing. But, you know, what they do and what we say could be two different things, but I have a lot of confidence in him and Matt Parsons. Matt Parsons is someone that knew the game last year. Obviously played at New Mexico State. Marshall, I mean, what's the difference, right? I mean,
right.
For real, they're both really high-level places, very cerebral, different individuals. Matt Parsons is more of a pocket guy, throw it down the field, zip it in there. Rakeem is a guy that if it breaks down, he can make it happen with his feet. So you need a little bit of diversity.
But it's good that people are going to push each other for a spot.
100%. It's all about the competition. So, quarterback, what a better place to have competition, you know, just to give you the vision. And I saw something up there, and I know that, you know, a lot of these guys, they're missed. So I'm just going to mention it because someone asked about DJ Myers that was on there, right? This is professional football. And I'm not guaranteeing you anything. All I'm saying is you can trade for people. You can. So I'm just saying, but they could also equally trade for us. So sometimes when you say, well, why do they have 4 quarterbacks on the roster? Or why do you have 3 6'7" wide receivers? Well, because people want those people. So you've got to plan for the future. So anyway, without dropping any hints, I'm just telling you this is professional football. We're going to build the roster. We're going to fill every single one of those spots. And if, you know, something happens and we might need to get a player, we might have somebody that we could give up. But I'm not planning on trading anybody. I'm just telling you it's professional football, and that can happen.
Things happen. Things just like in any professional sport.
Absolutely, 100%. But yeah, so back to the quarterback position, very good competition there. Excited to see them both compete. But we also have a couple guys that are coming to work out December 18th that might actually earn a spot. So right now, you know, with 23 guys signed and 12 spots left, there's rules. There's room.
Bringing it up again, Saturday, December 18th. Tell them where it's at, Coach, one more time so it's out there.
Yeah, Lake Howe High School, 8 in the morning. We're going to, you know, do the 40, the shuttle, the L drill, all via laser time to be verified. Obviously go through one-on-ones and we'll have literally our plays broken down offensively and defensively so we can evaluate, you know, the knowledge and how quick they pick up on the calls and those types of things. But it's an opportunity, you know. This is Orlando, so you guys that are watching this or sending me the 5,000 Instagram messages and Facebook messages I'm getting, if you want to compete, come out there. You know, a message is a message, but what I see in person, what these coaches see, that's what you are. So
Absolutely.
let's see it.
The laser is going to be a big thing. You know
100%.
that. People like it, and then they can use it for other things, if not for this.
Absolutely. So another reason why we have the laser is because we run these laser times. All of a sudden, let's just say, for instance, you know, you might not have the best day that we think about, but you do a great job with your laser time and your shuttle. Now, all of a sudden, the team wants you. They call us up. They call me. They say, hey, you know,
Did he really?
John Doe
Did he
says,
really?
Yeah, he ran a 4.4 laser time, and I'm saying, Coach, I was there. I timed it. It's just we had a couple guys on our roster that, you know, look better. We didn't sign them. But I can tell you this. You come out there and run a pretty good, decent time, and you're catching the football and covering, there's a good chance you're going to get signed.
Capitalize on the run game. Ashley Marie is saying capitalize on the run game. That was fun to watch last season.
Des Maxwell, right?
Yeah.
Lit it up, didn't he?
He is fun to look at. He is fun to watch. He is fun. He's exciting.
And he's hard to stop.
100%. He's got great passion for the game. He's got some great feet. I almost want to call him sweet feet, but I think he'd be upset with me. But anyway, no, but people don't know about this, but Des has got extremely good hands as well. He's got great hands. He is so good for me on special teams. A lot of energy, a lot of passion. I love coaching him.
Speaking of special teams, I may be a little biased of Fufu. I love Fufu, Brandon Fuentes. But as far as speed goes for your special teams, running down the field on the kickoff, I think he beat the ball down to the end zone before in a couple plays.
It's funny you say this. I mean, we were tops in the league of kickoff coverage, and it's all about lane discipline. Brandon, the only time we gave up one, he tried to get inside and make a tackle, and they ended up getting 10 yards and had a 15-yard return. But no, Brandon has been, not just Brandon, I mean, Dez is on that too,
Yeah.
Dez Maxwell.
Told you I was a little biased.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of guys on there, Mike Carey, Josh Jenkins, they all held the fort down, so to speak. But with Fufu, so to speak, Brandon has been a very good playmaking at the right time. Think about when some of those plays. I mean, if you guys saw the Jersey game when he had his pick six, what at the right time. You go back to the pick six that he had when he picked it coming down to our end zone on the far side of the field. I mean, that just put them right out of the football game and changed it.
Changed it all. Yeah, without
absolutely.
a doubt. Speaking of Josh Jenkins, is he on this list anywhere? Is he going to be coming back?
I have to think a couple of these guys, and you'll see a couple signings happen in a couple of days. Straight up, they're such remarkable football players. They're looking at some, USFL or other opportunities. But he's right here in Orlando, and I'm not 100% because until their name is on that, John Hancock is on that piece of contract, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's not 100%, but he's definitely a guy that is in our eyes, and he was very well appreciated around here. I know the fans loved him, so yeah, he's hopefully looking to come back.
And other teams feared him. They played away from him after those first couple of games when they seen what he could do out there. I mean, he's a hell of an athlete.
You're still talking about Jenks, Josh?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to throw at him?
Pardon me?
You want to throw at him?
No.
You want to get hit by him?
No.
So, I mean, yes, those are anybody with. You can't teach size, number one, right? A couple things you can't teach. So you got a guy that's 6'2" that runs like a deer, so to speak, and hits you like a truck. Those are guys you want to have.
Those are the guys, yeah, exactly right. Quick shout out there, Laura Constantini is watching tonight. Laura, we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Laura. Something else that was really good to figure out or to see, and I had to figure this out because I don't coach the defense, obviously, but the way those guys played together and how they quarterbacked the defense. So Josh, so to speak, back there, just route recognition, formation recognition, down and distance, and then, hey, foo, this is what's coming. Those guys worked, and they were really well coached. Really well coached in the back end. So that's something that, when you're looking at that unity and how that goes, that's something that we want to have again. So Josh and Fufu and those guys, Mike Carey did a really nice job of that.
Ashley Marie says, "Where's the Prowlers? I thought they were going to be here tonight."
No, actually, they'll be here they'll be on the 20th.
They're prowling, huh?
Yep, they're prowling.
So you heard that right? On the 20th,
They're working.
the Christmas show, right? Which the location will be announced.
What time?
I didn't hear the ends. What did she say?
What's that?
What did she say?
That's what the flyer said.
There was just
John, that's what the flyer said.
Nobody has any questions about any other new signings? Nobody recognizes any of those names? You guys don't recognize the names? Okay.
Throw it out there, Coach.
Well,
Go ahead.
Well, this one on my phone is a little bit more accurate. Let's look at this. Okay, I'm just going to go from the most recent. We already talked about Rakeem Cato. Rubens Joseph. We don't know about that name? Rubens Joseph is a very large man. He was the first team guard for the Albany Empire. So we signed him yesterday. Before that, most recent, Lonnie Outlaw, 6'7", 225 pounds. He was offensive specialist. See now, everybody wants to clap for the skill guys. Let's clap for the linemen too.
Hey, we want anybody who used to kill us.
Well, listen. Rubens Joseph, I mean, I know we're not all used to clapping for linemen, but when you can get back there and count to 6 before you throw the ball,
that helps.
You might be able to play quarterback this year.
Yeah, that helps.
Do it.
Now, here's another one. Darrell Myers, 6'7", wide receiver linebacker from Albany Empire. He didn't play a lot last year. He's from Savannah. Very good. He's a guy that can play. We're going to see what he can do. Tyron Lewis, T. Lou. He's an all AFL top 50 guy one time. Okay, 6'2". He ran fast. He's a receiver linebacker. Let's go back again here. Jeremiah Spicer, fullback linebacker. Most recently, I think in the spring league, he played in the NFL one time. Larry Beavers, he was the offensive specialist, if you remember, for New Jersey. Okay?
Yeah.
These guys are all players. They're all players. And I'm just going to read names because Zach Mesday from Jersey, going back to Toonie Ropatai, old lineman, D lineman. Of course, the guys that we have coming back, like Armani Carey and Darius Tolbert. But now I'll give you some names that you don't know. Keith Lewis, another receiver DB. Darren Clark, receiver DB. When you see the competition that we have in camp, and remember, we have spots left and we're looking for more at these workouts, guys, this is what it's about. This is what it's about. So we're building off what Coach did last year, and the staff and the ownership group, and of course us as staff members. And let's be real, they did it professionally. I've learned, I've looked, and now it's my time to make it happen again. So anyway, it is what it is.
That's right. It is your time to make it happen.
That's it. That's it.
These people right here, and this is just a small group, is waiting for that banner come, what'd you say, August 5th?
15th?
August 15th.
Thank you. That's after the championship.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mid-August.
Yes. Our general manager, Casey Tyson, coach, the Diamond Center wants to know what size ring you wear.
I wear tight.
All right. Steve Morris there is in there. We've wanted Beaver for years.
That's funny. But it's great though when you talk to these guys, and I know that this is something that gets overlooked, but I'm going to go back to my C's again. This is what we're looking for. Character, class, consistency, courage, confidence, and competition. So when you talk to these guys, it's not all about the playmaking. So we tell them right off the bat, this is a team. There's a lot of balls that can be thrown around, right? But when it's your turn to make a play, you make the play, you do your job, and don't worry, as long as we're making plays. Now, understand that everybody's competitive and everybody might want to score 6 touchdowns, but if you score 2 touchdowns and we win the game, or you catch 2 passes and we win the game, a win is a win.
Absolutely.
So no joke about it. We've told these guys that when they come on this field, in this community, they're representing these fans, representing this ownership group, obviously you, Pat, Casey, the GM, and me as the head coach. And make no mistake about it, we're here to build better men and a 100% better football team, not only on the field, but off the field. So this is the same thing they've already heard. This is what we're going to do, and I'm just excited to do it, so I can't wait.
I'm excited to have you here.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for the 2022 season to start. And with that, there's a question here that says, well, I know the schedule's not out yet,
right?
But when is the tentative start date for the
She might not have heard it when we work back.
Around April,
Yeah.
mid-April is the tentative start date.
So there you go, Trish King on that one there. You're tentative mid-April on that. Roy Stabler, Coach Roy Stabler's watching. You just tuned in. You got to tune back there, Cook. Watch the whole show because it's about wrapping it up here soon, I'm sure. But welcome aboard on the show.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, fans, everybody that came out here, for real, let's give yourselves a round of applause for being here from the time it started, and you'll be here forever. I love you guys, for real.
Well, I think we're good. Like I said, if during, after the show, next week, you guys come up with anything that you can think of, us as ownerships that can make it better, besides bringing in the proper coaches and the coach bringing in the right players. But anything we can do to make the game more enjoyable, we want to do it.
I want to say, I want to throw it out here real quick. I was so excited when I saw the announcement that you were the head coach. I said to myself, we got ourselves a winner. We got somebody that is all about Orlando Predator football and what's nothing but the championship in mind, right in front of him, right there. He's just going to do everything he can to make it happen. And when I told my wife, I said, Higgs is the new head coach, I was like I am now, just stumbling over words. I was like, man, that's awesome. That's great. I want you to know how happy I am that you are here as the head coach.
Hey, again, I appreciate it. For you guys that know me, if you really know me, and my fiance, she knows this too, but it's Coach Higgs. It's not Higgins. You know me. You're in my football family, so to speak. It's Coach Higgs. It's Coach Higgs. It's Coach Higgs. But with that being said, you know, I wouldn't be me if I didn't. You talk about the Hall of Fame and all that type of stuff. My head coach in high school, Tim Dowling, was about hit and finish. I played for a national championship program with Jim Butterfield and Michael Welsh. And then I had a host of arena football coaches from, you know, Kevin Porter, Chris Siegfried, Richard Davis, Pete Costanza, you know, Ben Bennett last year working with him. There's so many guys, and the list goes on. And I wouldn't be who I was if I didn't learn from all these other guys that are, you know, let's be real, a lot more known, but you either know who I was or you're going to know who I am.
You'll
So
learn
let's
quick.
see what happens.
I know Casey's learning a lot.
There you go.
Hey, you know, another thing about bringing you on, we're getting a lot of stuff done now. We can't wait till the season starts. I mean, you're all over it from the day you were hired, and it's actually pushing Casey to do a lot more stuff. Right, Casey? Yeah. Hey, bring me. Hey, he's calling me at 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, because they know I'm
Hey,
a 5 o'clock
it goes
morning
both
guy.
ways. It goes both ways. I get phone calls too.
But hey, so we're having fun. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to put the best team on the field to make a great show for the Orlando Predators fans.
Tell me if I'm pronouncing it right. Prince Shinola?
Yes, that's he was here last year. I see Higgs is the man for the job. Hey, listen, just remember, everything is great, right? It's the honeymoon phase. When
Yeah.
something goes a little bit under the weather, I need your support because we're going to get out of it and we're going to win regardless. So it's not going to matter. But yes, that's
We're
how
going to
you
have a good
pronounce
time doing it.
it. Yes, sir.
Also, Darius Tolbert chimed in and said 75 gonna be ready. So
Did they know his nickname?
Darius Tolbert,
Big Baby.
big
Big
baby.
Baby's the
Baby.
man. Right out of there, Edgewater. Coach Burt coached him in high school. Listen, these guys are fired up, man.
Yeah.
These guys are fired up, ready to go. Big Baby, I see you on there, man. I hope you're working hard. You know, you got to play a little bit more now, offense and defense, and we're counting on you.
You heard that right, big baby?
You've never seen this guy's hands.
Oh, I have. I've known Darius for a while.
Okay, he can catch the
I've known
ball.
Darius for a while.
Yeah, these are all good dudes, man. That's why we want them here. So.
Well, you'll go on all night answering the questions.
Yeah, you will. You will, because they
So-
come in, so.
All right, but I want to thank everybody for coming, and we'll see you on the 20th. We're just going to announce within a week. This week we're going to announce where it's at, and we're gonna make it a Christmas party. So everybody have a blast. All right?
Santa may even show up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think I'll definitely know Santa's coming.
Coach, thanks again for coming in,
Thank
putting
you so
up with
much.
us,
Thank you.
and answering the questions.
Great to have you.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What? Oh,
Did we do
you
all
mean?
right?
Yeah.
All right, good.
You wanted to hear it.
It's like I said, it's a wrap.
We still
No.